Hi, class. I'm Jabari Washington, and I'm going to be talking about the rise of postmodern values has had a negative impact on the business environment. However, I'm the student against. So essentially, I'm saying the rise of postmodern values has had a positive impact on the business environment. So again, I'm Jabari Washington, June 2015, and the class is Management, Current Issues in Business Management 510. So let's get started. So we're going to talk about the definition of postmodernism to get started, and then we're going to get into postmodern values, how postmodern values impact the business environment, and then I want to discuss some opposing views, and then at the end we'll go ahead and recap everything that was discussed in this video. So what is postmodernism? Postmodernism, it really is a philosophy that says there's no such thing as absolute truth and that you cannot achieve certainty. Postmodernism supporters deny long-held beliefs, maintain that all viewpoints are equally valid. Postmodernists believe that all religions deserve to be equally recognized. So anyone willing to call the conventional wisdom into question while conceding that no matter what they find, the search for truth is never over. That's kind of the postmodern spirit. So since I'm saying postmodern values is positively impacting business, next question I ask is why the rise of postmodern values are crucial in today's business environment. Well, they're actually crucial because postmodernism challenges the traditional cultural views. There's a saying that says if you do the same things, you get the same results, and that's the definition of insanity. So what's great about postmodernism is it's not insane. It's looking to do something different than was previously done. It's looking to innovate. It's looking to change. And that's what's really compelling about it. There are 4 generations currently in our workforce, and that brings diversity in age, ethnicity, gender, geographical areas that people come from. And as a result, the business environment is constantly changing. And organizations will need to implement postmodern values to keep up with this postmodern revolution. It's kind of like when Google became very big as a company. Everybody wanted to see what they were doing. And even when you walk in the door, you could see these open offices with open cubes, and people weren't kind of locked to themselves. It was it was kind of a open work environment where everybody kind of worked together, but they were still responsible for their own activities. So they obviously innovated and were very successful. And if a business doesn't realize that there's benefits in innovating and changing the way they think about things and the way they solve problems, then they could get left behind. There are 3 postmodernistic values that positively affect the workplace that I'm going to talk about. One is individualism. Second one is diversity. And the third is community. So let's start off with individualism. Postmodern thinking has moved individuals to consider a new reference for self-identification. Postmodernists encourage individualism. Postmodernism wants individuals to define the truth as they see it. That feels good, doesn't it? Postmodernists believe that people should be individuals and construct their own identities. Postmodernists create their own standards and values according to what they believe. And postmodernists believe that people should be free to choose their own sexuality, to choose their own identity. And that's kind of what we see is really going on. It's a very postmodernistic thinking in that, you could choose, you choose your gender, you choose your sexuality, you choose your the standards and principles and morals that you want to subscribe to. And it seems like it's nice because it's a path of least resistance. And so you can go about your way and there's not as much friction for people in the decisions that they make. So the other value I said I want to talk about is individualism. So the positive implications of individualism in the workplace. So individualism creates responsibility and allows employees to display their talents and their skills. It's all about them. Fosters creativity and promotes innovation. When you're not looking for someone else to give you the answers, you look for them yourself, and that actually is a good thing to be able to do for yourself, because then you'll hold yourself to a higher standard is kind of the thinking there. Employees find solutions to conflicts versus the solutions coming from upper management or from somebody outside of yourself. The individual is productive and self-motivated because they're working by themselves. So they're self-motivating to make sure that they could accomplish whatever task that they need to accomplish. And employees are very efficient. They're going to be self-reliant, and they're going to put their best foot forward to achieve their goals because their name is the one that's on the line. The third value that I wanted to talk about is diversity. So postmodernists tend to celebrate the dynamic diversity of life. Postmodern society is characterized by diversity and choice. Postmodernists are open to other perspectives and ideas. They think outside the box. And so postmodernism, it doesn't believe in groups, in groups or out groups. And then, so what happens is it kind of accepts that diversity. It embraces diversity from that standpoint. And since postmodernism rejects certain truth, there's acceptance and celebration of a diverse belief system. And all religions are equal is kind of a postmodernistic type of thinking. And in the business environment, that's actually a great way to be because you're accepting all people. You're not discriminating. You're embracing other ideologies and how other people view the world, which can allow for better synergy in the work environment and also encourage additional innovation. And so the positive implications of diversity in the workplace are threefold. Diversity brings different qualifications, backgrounds, and experiences. Diversity gives the employees opportunity for growth because they're exposed to new ideas, cultures, and perspectives. And diversity promotes creativity. And once again, that word innovation, I guess I like to use that quite a bit because it's so important. Without innovating, you fall behind. And in this competitive global environment that we're in, this global business environment, it's crucial that you have opportunity to innovate and bring something great to the marketplace in order to be successful. All right, so moving on to community. Community, which advocates meaning and understanding determined through a tribal or community setting. That's how we're kind of defining community there. Postmodernists support community and value the relationships. Postmodernists wants us to be connected and have a sense of togetherness. Authentic relationships, connectedness, and community are appealing to postmodernists. And postmodernists search for meaning and are open to new experiences. Positive implications of community in the workplace now. When the workplace has a sense of community, the company thrives, and it creates kind of a synergistic energy that allows people to feel confident, comfortable, so that when they design, they develop, they're creating, it comes from a good place and they trust each other. Community in the workplace allows workers to be a part of something. It's not just a part of, it's not just working so somebody else could be successful. It's you are vested as a stakeholder within the organization to be able to achieve and to rise with the tide, because all tide, when the tide rises, it raises all ships, including your own. Employees are committed to the organization, the mission, the values, the goals, and this creates retention. When people are committed to something, when they're committed to the mission and the values and the goals, they want to be there to achieve. They want to see what happens. They want to follow the plan, and it increases retention. It's one of the biggest reasons why employees say that they stay at the companies they're at is because they believe in what the company's doing. Employees empower and influence each other, which leads the organization to success. So instead of it being, again, top-down management, that's pretty old traditional, do as I say. It's, come to the table. Let's all bring our ideas. Let's all be heard and all have some input in the success of this company. Now, there's obviously many opposing views, including some of my own, but, postmodernism ignores values such as the truth. I believe that it's really important to, embrace all people, all cultures, and all beliefs, and not to discriminate and all of that. But at the same time, on the spectrum of postmodernism, it could get to the point to where it's all about your perspective, kind of do what thou wilt. As a believer, as a Christian person, as a person of faith, we believe that God has, all truth, and that We don't necessarily create our own truths based on, what we believe and what our personal experience is. The opposing views to postmodernism is they kind of see it as a problem, because why should anyone else believe in anything, right? So you kind of have a way of thinking that allows people to kind of float along and not be tied down to any belief system. And how can we expect someone to be honest and truthful in the workplace if they don't know what honesty and truthfulness really is? If they don't have something that lets them know that ethically certain decisions, certain choices shouldn't be made, then how can you expect somebody to adhere to a principle that they don't subscribe to? Because it's the principle is whatever they want to make it to be at that time. So that's kind of some of the problems that people see with postmodernistic thinking. So additional opposing views are kind of along the same lines as, everything isn't relative to your own thinking. That kind of goes against Christian faith, because God decides what is right is wrong. But does someone with postmodern values respect the rules and authority in the business environment? That's a question. Postmodernism clashes with Christian beliefs because they accept all religions and reject that there's one true God. Postmodernists accept all worldviews. Anything goes is the type of attitude. Decisions are governed by personal choices versus ethics and morals. In postmodernism, does integrity exist? These are questions that postmodernism does not have an answer for. And then kind of the old saying goes, if you don't stand for something, you could potentially fall for anything. And we kind of see that so much with, so many different leaders and businesses, making poor ethical decisions when it comes to, finances, or when it comes to transparency or corporate social responsibility or whatever it may be. And then on the other side of things, we're seeing a lot of businesses that are growing in those areas. And that's pretty exciting. So just kind of recap what we talked about. The definition of postmodernism is really broad because it touches on so many different things. But for what we talked about in this case, we're talking about as being good for business because of the openness and the how compelling it is to bring in so many ideas so that way companies can innovate. And then the second part of this is it's important to incorporate postmodern values in today's workforce. In the workforce, that's where you don't want to fall behind. That's where you want it to be about individualism, because by being an individual, no one could tie you down. You embrace flexibility. You are able to be a star. So many job openings, they talk about rock star wanted, rock star secretary, rock star physician, whatever it is. Everybody would be a rock star. So, it's about you. And that's great for the workforce. Many people reject postmodernism, and postmodernists are searching for meaning and are open to new experiences. So that's kind of what we talked about in this. Hate filming myself, but thank you for making it this far if you did. And it was good to be in class with you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.